Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad to see you here again. And today guys, I'm gonna be teaching you how to use mid-side EQ. I will teach you everything you need to know so you can start using mid-side EQ for your productions like a pro. This was a request by one of my subscribers, so if you guys have any problems, any questions about music production, if you have any topics that you would like me to make a tutorial on and cover more in detail, just let me know in the comments below and I will do a tutorial for you. And one question for you guys, do you use mid-side EQ? Let me know in the comments below. So guys, what do you think of this track? Do you like the vibe? And also guys, let me know what kind of music do you make. Maybe it's deep house, maybe tech house. I'm actually more into tech house kind of stuff, but sometimes I make more melodic tracks and it's really cool because you learn something new and you should be always learning something so you are not doing the same thing over and over again. So guys, let's start with a little bit of theory now. If you have a sound and it has a mid and a side, it's not always like that. If you have a guitar or a flute in mono, it's not going to have any side information. It will have side information if you put, for example, reverb, maybe a delay, yeah, thing. But let me show you. So if we have a flute, so as you can see here, I've applied some reverb with the stereo, so it actually has some side information. Let's make it a little bit shorter. And now guys, let me show you. You can use, if you're using Ableton, you can use utility, and if we just make it mono, we will have only the mids. So this is how the flute sound in mono, so we now have only mid signal. You can also use as well with the mid-side EQ, you can use left and right EQing. Basically, it's the same thing, but you work with the left and the right channel. And now, guys, let me show you how you can use mid-side EQ in your track. So, for example, we have a flute. Let's play it with the kick and with the bass, and we have the piano. So, for example, I'm gonna loop this part of the track. So let's play the piano. Let's open the filter a little and make it more bright. Yeah, you can still hear the flute, you can still hear the piano, but in real life, what's the purpose of using mid-side EQ? And the purpose is that you can create contrast and you can make your mixes sound more clear, more transparent. But this doesn't mean that you can solve the frequency issues with mid-side. It's just a tool that will help you if you already have a good arrangement and a good sound. just some basic EQ. I'm not mixing, so this is not like the how I would really mix the piano in real life. But let me show you guys. Mid side, I usually recommend cutting the low end for sides around, let's say 100, 200. So usually you won't need a lot of information below 150/200. This applies to reverb, stereo, effects. Sometimes, yes, you can do that, but in most cases, if we are talking about club tracks where we have a lot of bass, we don't need stereo there. So usually I would go like 150, do this kind of cut, and do something like that. Yeah, so that works. Or we can do more soft kind of curve. Really depends on the sound. So with the piano, let's just stick to the first one. Something like that. Or you could use, for example, a low shelf. That is a great way to EQ the low end really soft and smooth, so it doesn't sound unnatural. So now, guys, we've got the side information of our piano. And what else could we do? Now, let's work with mono. First, we need to determine what frequencies are the leading frequencies or the most important frequencies in our sounds. For example, for the flute, if we apply an EQ here, we can see on the spectrum. So the main frequencies are from 200 to roughly 600. And this is the part that we could cut from the piano. And let me guys show you. If you do like that, so we are cutting it here. Let me play you the piano. Oh, there's something wrong with the piano. Yeah, let me reload the project. So yeah, guys, what we can do with the piano, we can cut the mids. And now we have freed up the space for our flute. This is as simple as it is. So for example, we cut here. I would say this is where the main harmonics of the flute are. Maybe we can play a little with the side, so it's not as rough. I want to make the cut a little bit more smooth, something like that. And what could we do? We can boost a little of the top, the high frequencies. And now let's bypass the EQ so you guys could hear the difference. Once again, with the mid-side EQ. I can definitely hear that now we've got so much more space for our flute. I don't know what else could we do with the flute? So with the flute, we could go and use the mid-side EQ here. Let's cut the side. And maybe we could reduce some of the side information because we have boosted the side. It's just a suggestion how I would do that. So if I would boost side on one instrument, that means that I want to reduce side on another instrument, so it kind of compensates each other because your mix should be balanced. Yeah, we can cut it like that, make a curve. Yeah, so what else could we do with the mid-side EQ, guys? We could go even further, and so here we've got the 300, and we could even cut a little bit here of mids. The concept here, guys, you should be very careful so you don't destroy the sound. The sound should remain its natural character. This is the main thing when you are trying to mix something and balance. Because sometimes it's so much better to go back to the production stage and fix the sound, go back to the arrangement stage, fix the arrangement itself, because the mixing should not solve your arrangement and production sound design problems. We can boost a little here, so let's say 4K, maybe here, I think here. And I want to cut a little of mids from the flute here. So I emphasize the 4K, the boost here. And maybe we can reduce the side here, because usually the main harmonics of your sound, they are in the lower spectrum, so usually from 200 to 500. It's the most important part of almost any of your sounds. And we can boost the mids here, guys, so let's do something like that. I know it might look complicated, but in reality it's not at all, guys. So don't be afraid of doing boosts, doing cuts. At the end of the day, it's the only way how you could understand what to boost and what to cut. Now let's bypass the EQ on the piano and on the flute so you guys can hear the difference. It still sounds okay though, I like how it sounds, but when we work with mid-side EQ, you can really make your mix sound transparent. So what else could we do? So on the piano, I've got some of the mids. We could do it another way. So where's our low shelf? We can do low shelf. That works as well. Maybe something like that to balance the frequencies. Yeah, something like that would work. Maybe the mids we could cut around here. I would apply it here. And also we can cut the mids because we boosted the 4K range on our flute. And yeah, we boosted this side. So something like that would work. And now on the flute, let's apply the EQ. I don't put reverb on my insert channels that often, but sometimes, guys, it's really better to apply reverb on the channel itself rather on the return channel. So think about that next time. And let's listen now once again. Yeah, sounds cool. And now what we can do to see if we did the right thing, you should always be checking your mix in mono on the master channel. So let's use utility. You can use any plugin for that purpose. And now mono. Let's apply just a tiny bit of overdrive so we hear more harmonics. And now let's bypass the EQ here and here. And now, guys, we can really hear the difference. So now in mono without mid-side EQ. And once again, guys, with the EQ. Now, guys, it sounds so much more balanced, actually. And I'm going to give you one last tip before I end with this video. And it's, again, using the utility. And the utility I'm using before the processing. So, for example, if you think about where in the mix you want to position your instrument. So in this example, the flute, I want to set my flute in mono, because even though it's in mono, it might take the spectrum, like the frequencies, the side frequencies still. And this is why you should be making your kick in mono with utility or with some kind of the plugin that makes your sound in mono, but make sure you don't mess up with the phase, because this is really important when it comes to the kick and to the bass. And the piano here, and the piano, guys, here we could make, let's say, bass in mono always, and width, let's make it just a little bit more wide. And now we have more contrast. That is really important. Now, guys, let's bypass the flute. Bypass everything. I'm just gonna leave. Actually, no, I'm not gonna leave utility. I'm gonna bypass everything once again, so you could hear. It still, though, sounds clean. This is the power of the good sound design, of the good arrangement. So if you pick the right sounds from the beginning, if you make a good arrangement where all of the instruments, they kind of work with each other, so it's a phrase, an answer, a phrase, an answer, the mixing will be so much more easier for you guys. And just one last time, the very last time, so you could really feel that. So, guys, once again, with some mid-side EQ, this is actually not how I would do that when I would be mixing, because right now I'm in headphones, but when I'm mixing, I'm using my monitors. And in the context of the mix, so yeah, guys, what do you think of this tutorial? Have you learned something new? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you use mid-side EQ, and also let me know what's your favorite way of using EQ. And before we end with this video, guys, I want to let you know that I'm soon going to be opening registration for my online course about music production psychology. So if you are struggling with finding inspiration, finding good ideas, you're struggling with self-doubt, unconfidence, we're going to be working with the mindset of the power player. I'm going to teach you guys how to never run out of ideas and how to be productive. So we're going to be talking about, as I mentioned, the mindset, time management, tips and tricks I've learned when it comes to music production. But this one is going to be more about the psychology, but also, guys, I'm going to share some tips and tricks that will help you to learn the technical stuff. So more info, guys, during this week. I'm working on the website, working on the landing page, and soon I will give you more information about the plan. We will have the webinar, and yeah, really big project, really excited. I hope you are excited as well. And also, guys, let me know, are you struggling with finding inspiration for your tracks? What's the hardest thing when it comes to music psychology, like finding ideas, maybe finding inspiration, all of that? And also, guys, if you need personal help, maybe personal class, mentorship, I do all of that. You can book your free call. Just text me on Instagram, send me the email, and I will get back to you and try to help you with my knowledge and with my experience. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.